Hello everyone, welcome for this new tutorial. Today we will have a look on how to create some ferns like I did in my training for dinosaur creation. So I did add some ferns in the end, but I didn't show how to create it and how I did make it. So first of all, the first part of this tutorial will be in Photoshop, and what I did, I went into the forest to create the textures and took some fern leaves like that, okay, and put it on a white plane and just took the picture like that, okay. With a smartphone or just a camera, it will make the job like this. And so I have three different textures here, so the same plant but in different age. Like this one is a small little leaf, and here I have more adult leaves like that, okay. So first of all, let's have a look in Photoshop to create this texture. The goal will be to make this kind of texture that we will use for our fern in the end. So first of all, with the original texture there, okay, you will make just a selection and remove all the white here and create a transparent background, okay. So first of all, let's go to make this. You just go to these two and with this tolerance like that, and you will just add some here, icon here, and you will just add to your selection. So first of all, I just create a little selection like that, okay, with a lasso tool. Okay, sorry, I had everything selected. Good. Ctrl C, Ctrl Shift, sorry, Ctrl C, Ctrl Shift V, and now I will have this. And just to remove a little of the background, because I had some little things that wasn't really interesting, and I will just add now to my selection like that, okay. And in the end, with a few clicks, I will have my selection, and I can play with this to remove what I don't want here, okay. Maybe here a little more. Good. And let's say we are good with this. So I will just do Ctrl Shift Y to invert the selection, and just Ctrl C, Ctrl Shift V again, and now I will have something good like this. What you can do too is, when you have your selection still, you can go to Select and Mask and manage some little tips like this. For example, here with Ctrl plus, you can notice that maybe the selection here is not really good. We would like something smooth here, so you can increase the smooth value a little, and as you can see, it will make something more pleasant like that. Just okay, and like this you do after your Ctrl C, Ctrl Shift V again, and you will have the first part. Then you do exactly the same for this one, this one. The goal is to not have only one texture of leaf, and to make that will make your model too much repetitive. And then after, you create just a texture. Mine is 2048 pixels wide here, and to have a square, and I will add just this. How I make this in Photoshop, so I just take everything with Ctrl A, Ctrl C again, okay, and then Ctrl V there, so it's a bigger one, and then after with these two I will add this and take this space here, okay? And then I do everything with this one too, and in the end I will have this kind of texture, okay? The goal will be to have something with 3 different or 2 different leaves like that. That will make your model more interesting. And now let's go and continue to Blender. So you save this as a PNG file, okay? Save as. Here you go to PNG, and like this you will keep the alpha value there and the transparent background. Now let's go to continue to our Blender. Here I will just activate the screencast keys. Like this you will see what I do directly. You will have the shortcuts there, and I will select everything with A 2 times and remove everything with delete. Okay, now I will just add the first leaf, and I will add a plane with this. I will go on top view with 7 and 5 to have orthographic view, and I will go into edit mode. With the GUI I will just move everything like this. Like this space here, it's here into the cursor, and I will select here the 2 vertices with 2 right click and shift right click, and I will go there with GUI, select and go there somewhere here. Then I will add with ctrl R some subdivision, okay, some loops, maybe 7 loops will be okay. And then with my first click you can see that I make a first validation, and then on second click I can make still move it, and now I can just make a second validation like that. Now I would like something that is more like a shape of a leaf, a global shape of a leaf. So what I do, I go into my proportional editing enabled there, and I will select sharp like this. I will just do SX and increase with my scroll like this the size of my influence, okay, and I will do the same here, SX, and even make a bigger one. And now I will have a global shape of a leaf, and I will just select everything as X to have something a little more like this. I will add with Ctrl R again a loop in the center. So with the first click I can still move it, and I can force it to 0, like this it's in the middle, and make my second click. Now I have my geometry like this. Perfect. Now I would like, with this tree selected and this tree here selected, I would like in the side view to go with G1, GZ, and to make something with kind of round shape like that. Okay, first of all. Then I will select everything, make a rotation, and move my leaf like this. The goal will be to have the base of the leaf here, okay? Then I will select from here to there with Ctrl right click this time. Without proportional editing, I will go inside view again, and just with a little G put this somewhere like this, okay? So now we have the global shape of a leaf. We will just smooth it, and now we will start to create 3 different leaves, because we will have 3 different leaves in our texture, and we will do the same in the geometry there. So first of all, I create the first one. So this one is created. Now I will just duplicate this one, go in edit mode, select everything, and use my 3D cursor as a pivot point. Okay, and in the side view I will just make a rotation like this and maybe a little scale. Let's say something like that. Okay, and I will do the same again with Shift D in object mode. Okay, go in edit mode again with tab, do a rotation like this and a scale again like that. Okay, the goal will be to have this kind of shape. Good. Now my plane here, I keep it in the first layer. My second one, I put it in the second layer, and my third one, I put it in the third layer. Good. The goal will be to have something with an array modifier that you can change and make different shapes of plants very easily like that. So first of all, let's create our first array for this leaf. Let's go and add here an empty, and this empty will be a sphere. For example, the shape of the empty doesn't change everything, but if I take this and now I go to my modifier array, good, I will not use this as a relative offset. As you can see, relative offset, it just increases the number of it into this axis. Okay, this axis. But this is not what I want. I want that it make a kind of rotation around this. So what I do for this, I just remove relative offset and I enable object offset, and this object offset will be with this one. Okay, and now if I move this, as you can see, I can move this, but if I make a rotation of this, it makes a rotation too, and this is what I want. I will make a rotation into the z-axis like this to have something, until I have something interesting, let's say somewhere here. Good. And I will scale it to have even something more interesting. As you can see, it's a good start, but it's our first leaf, and we will do the same with the other. So what I will do for this one, exactly the same. Add a modifier array, make a number somewhere near 7 maybe, remove relative offset, put an object offset, and this time it will be an empty, let's say a cube. Okay, and it's this one that I will target like this. Now I can just make a rotation, something like this, and increase the scale. Okay, so now we say we have something more interesting. Good. And we will make the same for the last leaf. Maybe this one we will have to scale it into the x-axis because it will be the little one here. Okay, we have 3 leaves there. It will be the little one, so I will scale it into the x-axis. It will be easier after to manage. And now what I will do, I will just add a modifier array again. It will be the same, maybe a number like 8, remove relative offset, enable object offset, add an empty, in the center always, let's say a cone for this one, and let's target this and make a rotation and scale. As you can see, it's easy. You can even move it sometimes a little to have some more variations. I keep it in the center, but you can play with this modifier. It's a very powerful modifier if you use a empty as a target like this. So now we have our plant. Good. We just have to make the texture and to make the shaders. So let's go for this. We will just go into our first plane and go there, and we will just split our view and create here a UV image texture editor. Then I will go into edit mode, select everything. So as you can see, I have only one like this, and I will just unwrap. And as you can see, I did just unwrap my leaf. So I will just go there into this, and I will just click and drag and put my texture there. Now I can just, with rotation 90 degrees, maybe negative 90 degrees, and I will just, with general scale, I can enable even the proportional editing into the UV image editor. With this, for example, I can just move it like this. Like this, it follows well the texture. Okay, just with little moves easily, and try to put the base here as much as possible close here. Okay, so let's say for the first we are good, and now we will make the same for the second. Okay, this one, let's go. We select everything into edit mode and unwrap. Then air 90 degrees negative, put it there with G, S. Okay, and just by selecting the top of it, we can move it like this. Like this, it will follow well the geometry as we want. Okay, I do more or less the same here. Good, and we will do the same with the little one. Okay, select everything, unwrap again, air 90 degrees negative with G, yes, I can put it like that. Okay, and then I will just adjust the geometry here. I just verify here if I have something good. Okay, so now I can finally create the shader. My unwrapping is okay, I can create the shader. And first of all, I will assign the same shader into all my leaves. So I will create a new shader that I will call Fern. Just remember that we work in cycles render, okay? And this shader will be there for all the leaves. Good. Now we go into our node editor. Perfect. And we will start to create our shader. So first of all, we will need our texture. We can just click and drag there from here to there, and we will have our node. What we will do is just create a simple HDR lighting, and for that I use Easy HDRI add-on. It's a very good add-on. If you don't know it, just search on Google Easy HDRI Blender. You will find this very easily. You will download a zip, and by going there, File, User Preferences, into add-ons here, you will just install add-on from File, select the zip that you didn't download, and after, when you search Easy, you will find Easy HDRI here. Okay, you just enable that, and what it makes, it just allows you to create wall nodes and to create a very simple way to create your lighting like that, you just have to select the folder where your HDRI are. For me it will be there. And now you have a light. Good. Everything is perfect for this. And if you use HDRI, I really recommend you to use filmic color management, make really more realistic results. If you don't know what I talk about at all, I really recommend you to go to my full training, and I explain about this really with more, I take more time to explain it. Okay, so let's go now to our shader. Finally, I will remove this diffuse and I will add with Shift A shader that we like. It's a principled shader. I will just do Shift D into my 3D view to have my rendered view. Now I have nothing. If I can do Ctrl Shift click, I can see what's happening on my Fern directly. If you don't have this enabled, you just have to go to add-ons again, sorry, and you will just enable Node Wrangler. Okay? Node Wrangler with Ctrl Shift click on the node, you will see directly what's happening on the shader here, okay, in render view, and it's a very good feature. If I double click, like the first click here, and the second click, okay, I will have the second here, dot. And my second dot is my alpha value that I have on my texture. So as you can see, it's a black and white texture. I will use this after to make a transparent shader. And so now, let's go to our principled shader. I will just plug from color to principled here, and I will just do a Ctrl Shift click on that. As you can see, it makes this. So we will remove this this black part after, but first of all, let's think a little about normals, and we will just add some bump to make things less flat, let's say. So let's go and add a converter, color ramp, to have a black and white value here that I can use for my normals. And I will use this with a vector. It will be a bump. I will plug this here. I will not plug it to normal but to height. Okay, so it will be something like this. And I will plug to the normals. The strength will be 0.6, maybe it will be enough. And as you can see, it makes things more interesting. Okay, without, and I just zoom in a little. Okay, so without and with it. Okay, so it makes things more interesting into the surface of the leaves. Now what we can notice is that the light doesn't go through the leaves, and normally it has to go through. And for this we will use another shader. This shader will be a translucent here. Okay, so I will just plug my color here and my normal to make the same, and with Ctrl Shift click I will just have a look, and as we can see, if we look on the bottom on the plant, we can see that now the light goes through it, and this is what we want. And we would like to mix this translucent to this with this principle there. So what we will do, we'll add Shift A, shader, mix shader, put it there, and mix the two, 0.5. This is what we want. Good. Now I will remove the black part, so I will use for that into my image texture. As you can see here, from this dot we have the alpha value, and we will use this to say that the dark values will be transparent and the white values will be our shader. So what we will do for that, we will just duplicate with Shift D our mix shader, good, and we will add a shader transparent this time, good. This transparent, I will put it at the top, and our shader, I will put it here on the bottom. Now, if we have this, it's just a mix between the transparent value and the shader that we had, and it's not really interesting. We will use this value to mix it. And now we have exactly what we want, as you can see. Okay? Perfect. So now we have our beautiful Fern ready to go into a scene. But if you want to make it easier to add your Fern and to make it a little more realistic, so you can do little things that will help you. First of all, let's create only one object. For now we have 3 objects, and it's not really easy because they are related to other objects. So first of all, we will just create one object with the 3. We select our 3 planes there. We do Shift D, right click to keep it in the center, and with M we will put everything into another layer. Now here I just have to apply the same here and apply all my modifiers like this. Now I'm not disturbed by this. I select all my objects, and with ctrl J I just make only one object. This is this object. That will be a Fern. Fern 1, let's say. Okay, good. So we have our Fern 1, and we would like to make something more interesting, with more interesting shape. We have a good base, but maybe we can do better. So first of all, let's change some rotation a little. We keep here the pivot point into our 3D cursor, and now I just select this one, and we can just do with our proportional editing connected, we can do just L and R, a little somewhere here, a little somewhere there, just to add more rotations, more interesting into the shape of our leaves, like this. Okay, just to help a little. And what we can do too is to select the tip and go into top view with a 7 on the pad and select some tip somewhere here, somewhere there, just with shift right click like that. And with still our proportional editing connected with sharp value, we can just RZ like this and increase like that. Okay, you will have a kind of spiral shape that you can do into different directions, okay, just to help them have a more natural shape. Okay, so now you have something more natural and really low poly. As you can see, there is just 600 polygons there. If you remove, for example, here this loop, it's possible, and just make maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 loops there, you will have really less polygons, but as you can see, it works pretty well. And now you can just create your ferns and very easily with your own textures. Just remember, if you want to create, for example, a different fern very easily, you will take the same base as you have and you will just change the values here. For example, I will just increase this and maybe change the scale of this one, change the rotation of this one, change the rotation of this one too, and of this one too. Okay, and I will have a different base to go. Okay, and with this base it will create another style of fern. So like this you will have very easily, with this base of creation, you can make a kind of bank of Fern's different shapes very easily like that. What is good too is that you can use the same kind of textures with other spaces, like for example here it's another species that I took. Always the same system, you just take maybe 2 adult leaves and 1 young leaf like this, and you will have something interesting to show in the end. So create your banks, your own banks. Your own bank of assets like this is very easy, and it makes your scenes more personal, and you don't have to download things that you didn't make yourself. Okay, so I hope you did enjoy this tutorial, and let's see each other soon.